All righty. I think I sent you an invite, so let's see if that worked.
Okay. All right. Let me get off on this video so I can try to get on.
Okay. Well, folks, we're still working out some of these details. Apparently, Facebook did an update on how you can do lives where it used to be you just invite somebody. Now it wanted me to set up a room, so I set up the room. And there's Sabrina. All righty.
Look at us getting past our technical difficulties.
So apparently Facebook did an update where how they did the live videos where you used to be able to invite somebody in, have somebody join you. They've changed that, and at least as far as we can tell, they've changed that, and that led to me needing to set up a room. So that's what I did. We're doing a room and this will be going out on my timeline. I think you might need to double check that on your end after we're done. But welcome to Wellness Wednesday, folks. In spite of our technical difficulties, we are here.
We are here. Woo.
One of the big things that we wanted to talk about today was healthy eating habits. You know, a lot of people enjoy a lot of different things during the holidays. We indulge in things and that kind of stuff. And a lot of us will approach the New Year's. This is when everybody's making those New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do these things. The problem a lot of people find is that, you know, trying to go on a diet or trying to do these different kinds of things can be very challenging. So rather than trying to do a diet, which is something that is kind of a short-term thing, unless you're like training for a marathon where you may have a diet that is your training diet, that's the appropriate use of the term diet in my mind. What we really need to do is reset ourselves so that we can have real life healthy eating habits. You know, something that is sustainable, something that we can do long term that will impact our wellness in a good way. So this is my friend Sabrina. She's a real good friend of mine. She's also my accountability partner. There's a lot of different activities that we're involved in where we work together and we try to help each other stay on track. And sometimes it's just like you need that sounding board, or you need that shoulder to cry on, or you just need somebody to sit there and go, look, no, and kick you in the butt to keep you moving forward. So we do that for each other. So hi, Sabrina, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me, Kenneth. I really appreciate you asking me to come talk with you today. I really do. And we're talking Wellness Wednesday, right? So actually, can I go ahead and just jump into it and piggyback off of what you were just talking about?
Jump right in.
Awesome. So Kenneth and I have both been on a health journey. So when we came together as accountability partners, it was actually really nice to communicate with someone who also was undergoing those lifestyle changes to have sustainable, not weight loss, but to have a healthier body, to have a better functioning body. I know that Kenneth, he has to deal with diabetes, and I am insulin resistant because of one of my conditions. I deal with a lot of chronic illness. So for me, it's not necessarily a let me lose some weight kind of thing. I've always had a weight loss journey. I've either lost a lot of weight and then got gained, lost and gained, and lost and gained. I think that's the story for a lot of people. I'm not unique in that. I think that it's really hard to navigate eating well, especially if you have any kind of disorder. So for me, I have a lot of hormonal issues, which lead to a lot of metabolic issues and insulin resistance and things like that. So finding something sustainable is not always the easiest thing, right? So for Kenneth and I, we've decided that we're going to undergo a challenge that starts on January 10th. And I've actually been through a challenge before, which helped me. I lost 21 pounds back in 2000, I think it was 2019, like at the end of 2019. And I haven't gained it back. I've only fluctuated between 1 and 5 pounds. I've never gained it back. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I have very large periods of time where I'm doing, like, I'm one of those people. I am like, you know what? It's the holidays, and I'm gonna tell them what I told you the other day. I'm just gonna eat sweets and get fat and sassy just over the holidays because I'm a sweet person and I love it. I love everything that comes with holiday eating. I'm not the kind of person that has the willpower to deprive myself on Thanksgiving or anything else. And during this time period, I'm like, whatever. And so I am
A
very
lot of us are
cliche
like
when it
that
comes
from
to New Year's.
Thanksgiving all the way through New Year's. We're just like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like you're in this weird limbo where you're like, time isn't time. These calories don't count, right? No, they
Yep.
totally do. They totally do.
No, they don't.
So yeah, that's where I am. So I'm doing what is cliche, and I'm starting over in January, and that's my goal. I am going to do this challenge again, and my goal is when we get to the real life part, Kenneth, is to like have it be the habit more often than not. And one of the things that we do is we detox and then we reset we reset first, and that's like putting your body through like a little bit of a detox, right? But then you reintroduce foods and you can see how your body handles them. And that's a really, really big, important thing, right? So whenever you are reintroducing foods, you know what you can do and use this and sustain long term. So that's something that I've been able to do to like maintain my sugar, maintain my the weight loss. Like I said, I haven't gained it back, but I could do with doing it over again so I can actually reach my goal. So Kenneth, why don't you talk a little bit about your goals? Because I know that you have a really big one next year.
Well, this time last year, my A1C was at like a 14.8. And that is like I'm running myself straight into the grave level of A1C.
Yeah.
So made some changes, started with some things that are helped me maintain my glucose at healthy levels. There's been some medication that was involved in it. But between the diet changes, starting to get a little bit more exercise, and the medication, I was able to bring my A1C. I just had my last checkup this month, and my A1C is down to a 7.1, folks. And now,
That is so awesome.
For those of you who don't know what an A1C number should be, it should be under 7. So the fact that I'm now at a 7.1, I'm feeling pretty good about. Now, is it where I need to be? No. But I'm at the point where I've got to do some serious changes in my routine, especially in the area of my diet and my how I'm eating, to make some really good, solid, sustainable changes that'll help me get that down even lower. Another thing that I have as my goal for the next year is that I'm weighing in at about 315 pounds right now. And I want to be down to about 245 by this time next year. I'll take lower than that. I honestly don't know how healthy it would be for me to try to get down a whole lot lower than that. But that's kind of where I've got. And, you know, I'm going to be doing a lot of different changes. One of the things that I have as a big weakness for me is that I'm like a carbaholic. I love pasta. I love bread.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's different things. You know, I've tried doing the zucchini noodles and the spaghetti squash, and I'm just like, no, it doesn't work for me. It's just no. And if it works for you, great. I mean, these are good, healthy alternatives and that kind of stuff. But it's not something that's going to be sustainable for me. I'm not going to I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to be looking for some different alternatives. I already found a recipe for a 2-ingredient pasta, which is, believe it or not, the primary ingredient in it is the 2 ingredients in it is mozzarella cheese and an egg. And you knead it together and make it into the consistency of you melt down the cheese, you let it cool, then you knead up the cheese with the egg to make a dough consistency, and then you flatten it out, cut it into noodles, whatever kind you're using. So, you know, so I'm looking forward to trying something like that, because I can eat cheese.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
can eat cheese. Um,
Yeah.
so, I'm going to be looking for alternatives. And a big part of that is, knowing how to, what is good and what is not. So,
Yeah.
why don't you kind of take over a little bit there about that, the nutrition aspect?
Yeah. So one of the things that I found really helpful is following the 80-20 rule. So, um, more often than not, if you statistically do something 80% of the time, the 20% isn't really going to throw you completely off balance because the consistency outweighs, everything else. And so one of the things that I found was the 80-20 rule. So, um, uh, eating more of things that we know are on a yes list, right? So I'm talking your vegetables, your having high protein, low fat, or not low fat, but mostly increasing your protein. So one of the things that made a huge difference for me, especially with my metabolism and my sugar, was eating protein within the first hour of waking up. Like people don't realize how important that is. I am the type of person that listen, I'll just go until I'm hungry. I'll have my coffee, and then around brunch time, I might be like, oh, let me feed myself. And that's the exact opposite of what I need to be doing because for me, I've become a night eater. And between like 7 and 10 p.m., oh my gosh, I like ate everything. So it's about like kind of switching those habits. And that's the thing that I found that if I stick to the good habits 80% of the time, knowing that I need to fill up my plate with more vegetables than anything else, more protein, cut out the bad carbs and things like that. So that really helped me. But what helped me even more was focusing on my gut health, right? So when I realized that fiber has so much to do with not only weight loss, but just your overall health, it's unreal. So I'm talking your soluble and your insoluble fiber. Um, Increasing your fiber, having a good probiotic, having good enzymes in your stomach, being on a really good supplement that has um, high saturation, right? It's not something that you're peeing out, right? So looking at all of these things collectively, and I'm following that 80% of the time, that's why my health is getting increasingly better. That's why your health is getting increasingly better because you're consistently sticking with what's bringing your A1C down. You're realizing that in the morning you need to have that good protein, and so your glucose can go up in the morning and then stay steady the rest of the day. A lot of
Yeah,
us yo-yo.
yeah, that's one of the big things with having that protein first thing in the morning. Having a breakfast with like, eggs, some cheese, and like a breakfast meat with it. That's really good. There's a lot of people like, well, it's not really me. Well, that's fine. You can find things that will work for you. For me, I love breakfast tacos. Well, I need to ditch the tortillas more often, but
Yeah,
that's fine because
that's hard for me.
I could do everything that I would normally put in a breakfast taco, and I can do that as a breakfast bowl. I can have my sausage in there. I can have the veggies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ah, I can have all that kind of stuff that I want. It's just instead of putting it in a tortilla, just throw it in a bowl, throw some sauce on top, grab a spoon, go to town.
Absolutely. It's a lot about when you eat and how frequently you eat. So for me, since I had a hard time eating in the morning, um, I know that just having like a small handful of almonds, I know that that's jump starting, you know what I mean, my metabolism and getting me going. And something else that has been really helpful has been adding either protein or GC control to coffee because I know that my habit is already to get up and drink coffee. Like that's not going to change
So,
at
so you're
33 years of
using
age. That's
those shake mixes for the protein or something like that, and using that as like a creamer
yeah.
for your coffee.
Yes, because I'm like, let me compound a good habit with my already not so necessarily good habit of getting caffeine. You know what I mean? But coffee is actually a really good vessel to be doing those things with because we all, especially culturally for me, that's something that has always been a part of my life. And I would rather stack a good habit with something I'm already consistently doing so that I can ensure that I'm actually going to do it because I'm just not as disciplined as maybe I should be. But I need to follow the flow and ebb of what it is that actually is working for me. So that's something that I know people have a hard time, in the new year, they get bombarded with, do buy this fitness program, do this particular diet, do this particular thing. And a lot of it seems really restrictive. And that's not something I respond to. I know you and I have both talked. That's not something either one of us respond to, because when you start talking deprivation to me, I mean, my mind goes to wanting it and craving it way more than I would have on a normal basis if you didn't tell me I
Mhm.
couldn't have it.
And,
You
and
know what I
and
mean?
that's
We have to learn how our brain works.
yeah, and that's one of the things that's really good. You need to find a good healthy shake alternative, because that can be, if you're not somebody who really wants to eat a heavy breakfast or have a whole bunch of stuff in your stomach right off the bat, having a good protein shake, a good quality protein shake in the morning can be really beneficial for me. I'm using my GC control, and I'm using my fiber mix, and I'm mixing them together because I got a chocolate for my shake, and then I got an orange flavor for my fiber, and the two together make it taste like a Tootsie Roll. So I'm having Tootsie Rolls for breakfast in a
I
shake
love
form.
it.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You
there's
found what makes it work for you.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm getting at least part of my daily dose of fiber right off the bat. And the other big thing about fiber, when you're looking at cutting down calories that you're intaking and making some of these changes, is that fiber is a huge part of what helps you feel full. So
Right.
having enough fiber in your diet when you're eating is, one, it's helping to maintain your regularity, it's helping to maintain your blood sugar, it's helping to do a lot of these things. But it's also one of the key indicators that your body uses to go, hey, okay, we're good, we got enough, thanks. It's like the little thing on your gas tank when it clicks and okay, don't squeeze it again because it's full.
You're right. Right. You're done. You're good. No, I mean, looking at your gut health, I'm not, I'm not here to be the anti-advocate for, any program that's out there or anything, any fitness regimen. But a lot of us focus on things that might not necessarily work for us in the end. And I know for me, I'm 33 years old and I have done just about everything under the sun. I was a fitness instructor. I have done, um, oh, I was a curves coach at the all women's gym, all of those things. And I have had weight loss and success, but it's never been sustainable. This is literally in the past 2 years, the only thing that has sustained any weight loss for me. I literally have worked out less in this amount of time, but because I focused on getting my body better from the inside. Now I feel well enough to do exercise. I got a rower. Like now I feel I was focusing on activity and then beating myself up if that activity didn't get me my goal, when I needed to realize how my mind works and my habits work, how my body works. And I didn't, even though I knew, because I'm gonna get a little personal. My father, he actually passed away from stage 4 colon cancer when I was 19. And he was a very, very healthy, by all, I mean, what we assumed was healthy person. And his gut was never healthy and he always had issues. And when I was really young, I remember going to the doctor with him and they were just talking about how, like, even though you've been fit, you've been able to do a lot of things physically, it doesn't mean that anything that was going on inside of you was good. And so that was something that really kind of opened my eyes, but it still took me a while because I didn't know where to turn, because when you look at the health and wellness sector, there's a lot of things that are very overwhelming. There's so much information and it's just so overwhelming. So to be able to find things that were like taking probiotics and taking enzymes and taking fiber, nobody in my family knew to do that. That's something new. But we're really not getting what we need from food, even if we are doing really well.
and
The
and a
nutrient
lot
value
of
in our
us
food isn't always great.
Yeah, and a lot of us have heard about, oh, I need probiotics because it's in my yogurt. They're advertising certain foods that have it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But is it necessarily getting you everything that you need? That's another big thing. Is that it's like my doctor told me I need to have some more omega-3 fish oil. but she cautioned me that, you know, you need to make sure that it's good quality that you're getting, not just something that has some of it in it and then it's got a lot of fillers with it. So while you're looking at what you're taking for a supplement, or while you're looking at what you're looking for with your fiber, what you're looking for with your probiotics, you want to educate yourself, so that way that you can find something that's going to be the best bang for your buck. Because let's face it, most of us don't have a ton of money just to keep dumping into things trying to find what works best. So, you know, that's another thing that you can do. A lot of, you know, especially with the, like, you know, meal prepping, you need to figure out what it is that you're going to eat and shop and buy the things that you need to make those meals. Now, a lot of a lot of grocery stores and places have now where you can do your shopping online. That doesn't, I'm not saying that you get it delivered or have it prepped for you to where you can go pick up. Hey, if that's you, go for it. But do your research on the products. Like, okay, I know I need to get some mustard. Well, what's actually the best, healthiest, you know, that kind of a thing. I know I need to have this kind of item. You can go online and you can do the research ahead of time instead of having to stand there in the aisle while you're sitting there reading each of these labels. And then you're going, well, what the heck does that mean? You can do it from your home. And then when you see a term or an ingredient, you're like, well, what is that? Then you can find out. Some of the other things that I've done to change for my family is I don't buy packets of seasonings anymore. I buy the herbs and spices. And then, you know, hey, we want to make some tacos. So I got some cumin, I get some paprika, I get some onions, I get some garlic powder, and then, you know, some chili powder, and I mix it together and I make my own. So there's no preservatives, there's no nothing else in it. And I'm not knocking any of these other products, but if all I need is the flavoring, then all I need is the herbs and spices. So I'm learning to do that for myself. Not everybody's going to want to do that kind of thing. And I get it. But you can find places where they'll have, like, I know HEB, which is like the main grocery store here in Texas, and they have where they'll already have those spices put together, and it's just the spices. So you can buy the blends from them. They have where you can go, like, you know, you had the bulk where you can go buy bulk cereal, bulk everything. They have a section now where you can go in there and get however much it is of the herbs and spices, at least a lot of the common ones. So there's a lot of things that you can look at to do that kind of a thing. So a huge part of it is planning ahead, is, you know, planning your meals and then preparing your food, because one of the things that we're going to be trying to do is to train our body to stay. It's like, instead of going woo, woo, all day long where you put your foot on the gas and taking it off, you know, yeah, we don't want to be doing that. We want to get it up and we want to keep it running for the whole day. And part of what we need to do that is you need to be taking in small amounts of calories or a meal every 2 to 3 hours. You'll see some people say, you can go buy those snack bags and you can fill them. I personally don't like the idea of using snack bags, because now I'm just throwing a bunch of plastic in the trash. Go get yourself some food prep containers. Like, and they even have them now where they're ratioed, where you should have this section here should be your vegetables, this section should be your protein. If you're the kind of person that wants to do one of your meal replacement shakes or a protein shake as part of your snacks, they have containers where, you know, they got one section for the powder, the other section is where you put your liquid. So you can go fill up, dump your powder into it, shake it up, and there you go. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to prepare yourself for this. And that is a big part of what a lot of people don't take into it. The other thing that you need to do is you need to schedule some time for exercise, 3 to 5 times a week. And it doesn't have to be like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to kill myself. Go for a walk. If you have a rower, get on your rower. Doesn't matter. 15 to 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week will make an impact beyond that. Oh, once a week I'm going and I'm killing myself in the gym.
it's not always sustainable. I feel like a lot of the theme of what we've been, discussing today, just talking about some things and tips and tricks and challenges, is that habits and being able to manage your habits seems to be one of the biggest hurdles that anyone can get, have to deal with. And so right now, because we're in the in between time before the beginning of the year, if you're the type of person who says I'm going to get it together at the beginning of the year, then right now Kenneth and I are encouraging you to look at your habits and look at the things and the little changes that we talked about, because you determine how your year is going to go. I have to swallow that fact all the time. I know that the reason why I have not been able to master something is because I haven't set down the discipline to do so. And it's not always a fun thing to do, but we, Kenneth and I, have in our health journey we found a lot of little things. So I recommend any of you who are watching his live and, reach out to Kenneth, because he's always educating me, and we're educating each other on little tips and tricks and things that we're learning, because it's an ongoing process. I think I thought when I started my health journey that I was going to do something and then I was going to get better, and then that was it. I was going to go take this med, or I was going to follow this one diet, but that's not it. It's about picking up this consistent habit. If you're encouraging people to do exercise and it feels really impossible, get up and do it for 5 minutes. You can do anything for 5 minutes. If you can't sustain 5 minutes, do 1 minute, because after you do that for so long, you're going to add more and more and more. So I think that sustainable change ended up being what our live ended up being about on Wellness Wednesday. Like, how
Well,
are we going to make it sustainable? And don't, I don't recommend doing it trying to do big and I'm going to change every habit and I'm going to do everything. But we've found things that worked. I mean, hit Kenneth up and ask him. And I'm always open for anyone who wants to hit me up about what things I have found that work for me, because word of mouth is everything. And you don't know until somebody tells you sometimes. So I would encourage anyone to reach out to him, because I know he's got some really great tips and tricks, and you're always teaching me. That's for
well,
sure.
that's a big thing that I really like about having somebody who's an accountability partner who is active participant, is we find things for each other and we help each other. And that's another big thing that if you want to have something that's sustainable, you need to have somebody that's going to be there, that's going to be the hand on your shoulder when you're feeling like, I just no, I can't do it. They can be there to help you go, yes, you can. The other thing is that, you need to forgive yourself, because you're not going to be perfect all the time. Okay. So, I went crazy last night. I indulged and I ate an entire large pizza. And it happens, folks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But you know what? It already happened. So the only thing you can control is after it happened. Okay. Like I'm a huge intense, like I'm
Let's
gonna
not
beat
do that
myself up
again
and stuff, but
anytime soon. And that's really the thing. If it's something that you know is going to happen, you're going to go out to that pizza place and you're going to eat too much pizza or in wings. It's going to happen again. So your mindset goes, okay, yeah, that happened. Let's not let that happen again for a while. Because you know what? All things in moderation, including a little excess. Every now and then you just got to say, the heck with it. Chuck it in the
like,
bucket.
listen, I told you, right? Chuck it in the bucket. So literally, like I said, if you want to be like me and be all fat and sassy over the holidays, it is what it is. But we always know what it is that we can do to help improve ourselves. And if you don't know, reach out to one of us, because we've got a lot of resources for people. And I know that Kenneth and I have the same goal, and all we care about is helping people. I mean, it's just such a big motivator in our everyday lives. So I really appreciate you inviting me on this live today. I hope that anything I said provided some good insight. But unfortunately, I do have to run.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I do too. I got to go downstairs and make sure that the kids are actually going to eat lunch instead of just, getting a bowl of gummy bears and saying, I had lunch. They'll do it.
For them, it is.
The other big thing that you need to do with any healthy lifestyle, any healthy changes you're making, drink water. Lots of water. And if you don't like water, find ways to make it where you like to drink it. Some people like to put cucumbers and stuff in their water, so they're drinking cucumber water or lemon slices or what have you. There's ways to flavor water that aren't going to take away the positive aspects of getting all that water, because you need the water and you need the fiber to flush your system. And that's another big thing. So anyway, until next time, folks, thanks again to Sabrina for being here today. And as always, peace, love, and photography. And remember, everything can make a beautiful image, including you. You guys have a great afternoon.
Bye, guys.